Good day to all. This is C.S. Srinivasarao, Associate Professor, SVKP and Dr. K.S. Raju Arts and Science College, Penugonda. Today we will discuss about memory management. Under this, we discuss the swapping, memory allocation, paging and segmentation. First of all, memory management. This is memory management means main memory management. In the multi-programming environment, the total main memory can be divided into number of partitions. One partition is occupied by operating system and the remaining partitions are occupied by user processes. So each partition is for one process. Here one partition is for the operating system. The remaining partitions, each partition is for one process. The task of subdivision is carried out by, this is dynamically by operating system. This is known as memory management. Division of partitions dynamically by operating system. This is main memory management. There is a base and limit registers. This is the total main memory. Can be divided into number of partitions. The one partition is occupied by the operating system from 0 to low address, 0 to this 2,56,000, and from there onwards occupied by the processes. Process 1, process 2, process 3. For this process, the base starting address is 3,40,000 and the limit is, the total limit is 1,20,900. This is the limit. So the process is starting from this address to this address. This is the boundary for the process. Address binding at three different stages. One is at compile time, second one is load time, and third one is execution time. This is the binding of addresses to the instructions and data at three different stages. One is the compile time, second one is the load time, third one is the execution time. So multi-step processing of a user program. This is the source program. So it gives to the compiler. The compiler can give the object module, translated into the object module. All those object modules are combined. Those are given to the linkage editor. The linkage editor, it gives the load module. All a load module and the system libraries are merged and those are given to the loader. The loader will loads that into the main memory. So they dynamically loaded the system libraries into the main memory. Then that is ready for execution. So this is in main memory. These are the multi-step processing of a user program. First you discuss about logical address and physical address. Logical address is generated by the CPU and physical address is seen by the memory management unit. So by using physical address you can identify the instructions and data in main memory. Logical addresses is generated by the CPU for each and every instruction. Now we need the translation from logical address to the physical address. The alternative name for the logical address is virtual address. Memory management unit, hardware device that maps virtual to physical, logical address to physical. In memory management unit, the value in the relocation register is added. Generally this is the base register, is added to the every address generated by user process. At the time it is sent to the memory, physical memory. Just you check the diagram. CPU, it gives the logical address, that is 346, and relocation register is 14,000. We add the relocation value and the logical address 346, you will get the physical address. The physical address is 14,346 is the physical address. Use this address to fetch the information from main memory. So here the memory management unit, the task of this one is to translate the logical address to the physical address. The translation is simply add logical address value to the relocation register value, then you will get the physical address. Use this physical address to fetch the information from memory. This is a dynamic relocation using a relocation register. Dynamic loading. Routine is not loaded until it is called. Whenever you call the routine or subroutine, so then that is loaded. So the routine is not loaded until it is called. For this dynamic loading, better memory space utilization, and unused routine is never loaded. So if it is required, then only it is loaded. So this is useful when large amounts of code are needed to handle infrequently occurring cases. This is dynamic loading. Dynamic linking. Linking postponed until execution time. The linking of libraries and all is postponed until the execution time. Small piece of code that is called stub is used to locate the appropriate memory resident library routine. Stub replaces itself with the address of the routine and executes the routine. Dynamic linking is particularly useful for libraries. Swapping. So for this swapping, swap out and swap in. You call it roll out and roll in. A process can be swapped temporarily out of memory to a backing store. What is this backing store? Backing store is a fast disk that is large enough to accommodate all the copies of all memory images for all users and provide direct access to these memory images. So the process can be swapped temporarily out of memory to a backing store. So this is main memory, backing store. The process is moved between the backing store and main memory. So you can swap out and swap in. So high priority process can be swapped into the main memory, and low priority process will swap out from the main memory. You see the diagram. Operating system, this is the main memory. The first one is operating system, low address occupied by the operating system, and the remaining is used for the user processes. Now this is, for example, the low process is running. Whenever high priority process is in ready, the low priority is the P1, high priority is the P2. So swapped in the high priority process, that is called P2, and swapped out the low priority process P1. This is swap out, swap in. Swap out from main memory to the backing store. This is the backing store is the fast disk, and swap in, roll in is the high priority process will roll in from backing store to main memory. So CPU can fetch the information from main memory and execute it. Now continuous allocation. Main memory usually into two partitions. One is the resident operating system. So that is generally at low memory. The remaining is occupied by the user processes with high memory addresses. Base register, it contains the value of smallest physical address. Limit contains the range of logical addresses. Each logical address must be less than the limit register. This is the one condition. Logical address must be less than the limit register. So MMU, memory management unit, maps a logical address dynamically. You see the diagram for protection. Hardware support for relocation and limit registers. If the CPU gives the logical address of the instruction or the data, first it verifies whether the logical address is less than the size of the limit register. If it is less than, only it forwards. Otherwise, that is a trap. Logical address must be less than, then only you consider. Otherwise, if the logical address is greater than or equal to the limit register, then that is a trapping addressing error. If the logical address is less than the limit register, then add the relocation register value, that is the base value, then you will get the physical address. We already discussed this one. Translation from logical address to the physical address. Add the logical address value to the relocation register, then you will get the physical address. Before adding that, first you verify whether the logical address value is less than the limit register or not. If it is greater than or equal to the limit register, that is addressing error. Multiple partitions. So the main memory is again operating system, process 5, process 8 and process 2, and whenever it completes process 8, so this space is free, and you can load the another process 9. The size is very less, and the remaining user space you can load one more process 10. Still this is the free space. So here this is the block of available memory. This one and this one is the available memory. When a process arrives, it is allocated memory from a free space. And operating system maintains information about allocated partitions. One is process 5, process 8, process 2. All these are the allocated partitions occupied by the process 5, 8, 2. And free partitions, this is the free partition. So the operating system maintains the information about what are the partitions are allocated, and what are the free partitions. Then you will verify, you will find the free partitions and load the processes into the free partitions. Now the new topic is main memory allocation methods. This is the memory allocation methods or the simply main memory allocation methods. There are two things. One is the single partition allocation. Second one is the multiple partitions memory management. Single partition allocation first one, and second one is the multiple partitions memory management. Under this multiple partitions memory management, one is the fixed equal multiple partitions memory management system. Second one is the fixed variable multiple partitions memory management system. Third one is the dynamic multiple partitions memory management system. We will explain each and every one. First, discuss about the single partition allocation. The single partition allocation. So the total main memory size is this one. This is 1024K, 1 MB, 0K to 200K occupied by the operating system. The operating system size is, let us assume, the 200K, and from 200K to 1024K, this is the available for the main memory is available for the processes for execution. Now single partition means the entire partition is considered as a single. Now here the job queue. So the jobs are arrived in the order. The first one is J6 is arrived, next J2, J9, J1. J6 is occupied. First you select the short-term scheduler can select the J6 for execution, and that J6 will be loaded into the single partition. Only one job will loaded into this one. The remaining have all the remaining jobs have to wait. After completion of job 6, then it fetches the job 2 and loaded into the main memory. After completion of J2, then J9 and then J1. This is single programming. This is not multi-programming generally. And one more drawback of this one is whenever you load this J6 into the single partition, if the J6 size is very less and the remaining memory is waste. And one more condition is if J6 size is greater than the available space, you never execute this J6 because that will not be accommodated. The entire program will not be accommodated in the main memory. So these are the two things. First thing is compare J6 size is, if the J6 size is less than the available space, it is loaded. If the J6 size is greater than this one, it never execute. So these are the one problem with single partition allocation. There is no true multi-programming. Only single program can execute. Only one program is loaded in the user space. The remaining programs, all programs should have to wait. This is the single partition allocation. And one more thing is fragmentation, means wastage of memory. There are two things. One is the internal fragmentation and external fragmentation. I will discuss those two fragmentations next. And the second one is, that is single partition. Now the second one is multiple partitions memory management. Within this there are three things. One is the fixed equal, fixed variable and dynamic multiple partition. Fixed equal multiple partitions. All partitions are all equal sizes and those are the fixed. And variable multiple partitions. The partitions are sizes are vary and those are fixed. Those are fixed. And partitions are dynamically changes. The sizes of partitions are dynamically changes. For these two, the partition sizes are fixed. One is the fixed equal sizes. This is the variable sizes. This is the equal size and variable size. But those two partitions are fixed. This is dynamically changed. So I will discuss these three: fixed equal multiple partitions, fixed variable multiple partitions, dynamic multiple partitions in the next. Right. So this is the fixed equal multiple partitions. So I will explain these three in the next video.